Hey everybody, this is Eric Porter from Sea of Tranquility, and I have a concert review for you, and actually I should say a festival review for you. This past weekend, I believe June 28th and June 29th, I attended the Saratoga Performing Arts Center Jazz Festival. It was the 48th year, I believe, that the festival has been run. I've been to this many times. SPAC is what we call it around here, Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Beautiful amphitheater, outdoor shed, I guess a lot of people call it. It's right in the middle of a state park, beautiful surroundings. It's always been a fun, great venue. And when we were kids, they have obviously the outside lawn, inside seats. Luckily, we had an absolutely gorgeous weekend, which we have not had in ages. We lucked out there. And 2 beautiful days, great music. They really run this festival very well, kind of like clockwork at this point. They have a smaller stage that kind of sits out at the back of the venue. And between the acts that go on the main stage, they'll have music on the backstage. And some of that music is absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, you can't catch everything, but overall, like I said, I've been to this a number of times. It's always a great festival. So let's go back. We'll do a little time warp. I'm going to go back to Saturday's show. And Saturday kicked off with Kenny Garrett, trumpet player. I had actually run into Mike Antonelli, and Mike had said, "Don't miss this guy. He's fantastic." And Mike wasn't wrong. What an absolutely great band Kenny had to kick off the day. Again, beautiful weather. So I did have an inside seat for Saturday, and I was on the lawn for Sunday. But it was such a nice day. I was staying outside and, like I said, going back and forth. But Kenny Garrett, trumpet player, absolutely, absolutely incredible. Great band. And I think I need to give props to his piano player. I believe Kevin Brown. Sometimes it's hard to hear the names. This guy was absolutely amazing on the piano. And he also had a drummer that was out of this world. But anyway, trumpet player, terrific stuff. And, what a way to kick off the day. I don't really know what else to say. There was definitely a lot of improv, which you're going to find, and I dig that completely. Now, the second act, Michelle Camillo, piano player, and this was a trio, drums, stand-up bass, and boy, this guy is stunning on the piano. So good, so good. Again, and this happens a lot when you go to these shows. An artist I'm not familiar with. I can't always say that it's something that I would listen to at home, but in that live setting, you watch these guys, they're all incredible players. So sometimes that sounds a little cliche and what a great musician, but I mean, the whole day, I mean, it's one right after the other. Um, he came out a very classical approach with with kind of a Latin twist to a lot of his songs from what I could detect. The classical influence was in there a lot, as well as the Latin. He's somebody I got to check out. I really enjoyed this trio. Coming up third, Veronica Swift. I believe she was from Virginia or West Virginia. But again, the vocal stuff, usually not my thing in jazz. What an incredible voice. I actually stayed, and as each song kept going, she had a terrific band. But as each song kept going, I was like, I don't know. There was something about her. Beautiful voice, very traditional. And about halfway through her set, she starts talking, a lot of interaction with the crowd, and had mentioned her favorite band is Queen. Okay, that's terrific. And she threw, I believe, Show Must Go On, Keep Yourself Alive, just checking my notes here, and Dreamer's Ball from the album Jazz, so I guess that was appropriate. And she just was incredible. And again, like I said, I am not always, I can appreciate a good voice, let's put it that way. Uh, Again, standard, kind of those jazz standards, and that way of singing doesn't, probably is not something I would listen to at home, but boy, she can bring it. She was amazing. And then the band that I'd been waiting to see, Lettuce. So Lettuce went on, I'd say probably like 5:15, 5:30. And this is kind of how it runs throughout the day. And in between some of these acts, I do want to make mention of the String Queens. They opened the small stage. Uh, really, they were great with the crowd, a lot of interaction. I believe it was a violin, a viola, and a cello. And they did a lot of, actually even pop songs. They did Quincy Jones stuff that he'd done with Michael Jackson, and they made a couple mentions of some of the other covers they were doing. But really, really entertaining. And I think on that one, Julius Rodriguez, who was a piano player, I didn't get to catch his set, but he actually got up on stage and played with one of the acts. Geez, I want to say maybe Sunday, or no, it was with Veronica Swift on Saturday. I apologize. Um, and then I did catch the um, Red Hot Louisiana Band. They were fantastic too. I don't know if accordion is everyone's thing, but I mean, they just had that traditional New Orleans sound. Sounded terrific. So Lettuce. Uh, I do plan to talk about them on the Let's Jam series as well. They get a lot of talk on the jam band scene, and I can see why. I mean, these guys probably brought more funk. Or maybe your first taste of funk for the day. Really, I think I want to say a trumpet and a sax, the bass player, drummer, and they were just locked in. And I've seen a lot of videos of them, but this was kind of the first time. So they did a few excursions, definitely some improv got a little spacey at one point and then kind of bring it back. But that seemed to be their thing. And they were very tight. I really enjoyed their set. I think they played about maybe an hour and 10, 15 minutes. But just from hearing that, I was like, okay, these guys need to be investigated more. Very good band. Very excited about them. And then I believe Gregory Porter, another vocalist, again, killer voice. He had one of those deeper, maybe not like a Lou Rawls, but that really deep voice, great tone. But that kind of wasn't my thing. So at that point, I'm kind of walking around, checking out the vendors, a lot of merchandise for sale here, shirts, hats, a lot of local vendors too come out. So almost like a craft fair, I guess, if you want to say that. All these stores have their wares out. Very cool. So I think at that point, that was where I caught the Red Hot Louisiana Band because I went up during Gregory's set and saw the end of theirs. And to close the night, we had Gary Clark Jr. So Gary Clark Jr., guitar player, bluesy. I don't know a lot of his material. Very heavy fuzz tone. Good, 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 energetic way to close the show. Um, I don't know that he was my cup of tea either, but I stayed, enjoyed it, and you know, get to hear some guitar to close the night. I'm not going to complain too much. So that brings us to Sunday. Another beautiful day. Thank God for that. We were actually supposed to have rain Saturday and nothing. So Sunday was the day. Sunday was the day that if I'd had to pick one over the other, and that was due and only due to Corey Wong, who I had seen 2 years ago at the festival. Corey Wong, absolutely amazing, and we'll get to him. We'll get to him in a few minutes, but I guess first, how do you complain about Al Di Meola opening a show on Sunday? So this was Al's acoustic band. So it was Al, another guitar player. He had someone on tabla and percussion. And I don't know if Al really captured the crowd. I was loving it. Just some great, again, hit a lot of Spanish, Latin influence, classical guitar stuff. Al's set seemed relatively short, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I had just seen Al's Electric Band, I think last year or the year before, so it had been fairly recent. Would I have preferred the Electric Band? Yes. But his playing is stunning. I was outside for this, so they do have the big screens, and obviously they had the cameras on Al the whole time. Terrific though. So after Al, we did end up going back to the small stage, and it was the Brandy Younger trio, and she played harp, which I thought was very interesting. She had a great bass player too. I wish, I'd heard these names. So like I said, we're going back and forth. You don't always catch the introductions. Amazing bass player. The harp was very interesting to hear in that context. Maybe it's used more than I would know, but you do get the piano-ish kind of sound out of it. but beautiful, really, really cool stuff. And so I guess kind of between that, walking back and forth, DJ Logic and Friends. This was interesting. I would also say, and it did have, I guess DJ Logic has the turntables, but I didn't catch a lot of that once the show started. He kind of kicked everything off. He's another one. He had a bunch of different players. These guys got very spacey. I felt this was a heavily improv set. They they had I remember alto sax in this band, and I believe the alto sax player from this band actually went out and plays with Corey Wong a little later. Um, but very improv-y. They got spacey at times, just kind of jamming. Again, I don't know that they held the crowd all that well, but again, early in the day and people are coming in and out, so uh, that one kind of is what it is. And then Cassandra Wilson, I caught just a couple minutes of her set. Again, I was up at the smaller stage and I was checking out Gary Bartz, saxophonist, who was really, really good, very good. So Cassandra Wilson, vocalist, I heard one or two songs, and again, band sounded really tight. Just the vocal thing, uh, was not for me. She almost had I want to say maybe kind of a gospel-y soul vibe to what I heard. It wasn't much again. So, um, but she could sing, great singer, I would say that. So now, the last two acts, I'm going to say this was the weekend. So we have Corey Wong coming up next. Corey Wong went on about 5:30. All I can say about Corey Wong is you need to check this guy out. His band, they are so tight, so precise, amazing drummer. His drummer, absolutely on fire. Um, Corey, really great on stage, really great to watch. But I can tell you, these horn arrangements and the band is just super tight. I don't know how else to describe it. Just absolutely stunning performance. Corey Wong, I went into in the 2022 show. I'd never heard his music. So when you have not heard a note of somebody's music and they completely blow you away, I think that's pretty incredible. And that's what Corey did 2 years ago. He did not disappoint. I mean, they're just the energy, the intensity of the playing, the intensity of the music, everything is up. The horns are screaming, the band is popping. It was just absolutely amazing. And to close the night, we got more funk. So Corey definitely brought the funk, and we had Trombone Shorty, who again, I was really blown away by. Kind of a mix, instrumental and vocals. Trombone, maybe not what you would expect as the lead instrument, but he always brought in a couple of the other horns that were playing along with him. He was absolutely fabulous. Definitely check out Trombone Shorty, but I'm telling you, we got funkified, I guess, if you want to say that, those last two acts. And for me, definitely the highlight of my weekend. I will not miss a Corey Wong show if I have an opportunity. And I urge you to check him out. I would check out his live stuff possibly, but not that his albums aren't great, but there's so much energy in the live show. Hopefully that comes across. That's what I've been pursuing, is listening to his live stuff. So that's kind of a wrap on the weekend. We had 2 full days of music. Absolutely amazing. They do a great job. Everything is, runs like clockwork. So I'm sure if you had a backstage hand or something like that. The only funny story is I guess there were some thunderstorms on the East Coast. And for Gregory Porter's set, he went on about 7. I guess his band got stuck in DC. So they drove all the way from DC because their flights had gotten canceled and I guess they made it there within a half an hour of the set. So probably a little tense back there, but the band sounded great. So that's all you can say. So again, Saratoga Jazz Festival, 48th running of this festival. I think the artists love coming here. Just an absolutely stunning place to play a show. Crowd is just totally into it and appreciative. I urge you, if you like jazz and you have a shot to come to this is a great one to go to. But, check these artists out if you have any inkling. And like I said, start with Corey Wong. But that's my wrap on the concert review. So Thank you, everybody, for watching. And don't forget to visit www.seaoftranquility.org. We are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and now we are on Instagram all the damn time. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of all the content that comes on the channel. And check out the links below. There's merch, sponsorship. You can become a member. So just do all that stuff and, keep listening to music and have yourselves a great day. Thanks for watching.